Hey guys, it's SJ, welcome back to my channel, or if you're brand new, I'm SJ, I'm a mum of 3, I have a 9-year-old, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I practice a lot of gentle parenting and positive discipline here at home. It's always just been my natural way of kind of being with my kids, but I'm also very mindful and read up on it. I've just been reading loads about it as we're going into the summer holidays because I want to make sure that my home and this time that we have together, this sort of special summer holiday period, is really helping them with their well-being and their sense of this being a really calm, open household. But obviously they're going to need a lot of discipline as well because there's 3 kids and they're kids. If you do like this video, I'm thinking of doing a few more videos about basically the sort of Montessori methods that I'm taking up in the home, that I've started doing around play, discipline, self-care as well for the children and getting that independence. I want this to be their summer of independence basically. So if you like the sound of that, then do hit subscribe to follow along. Let me know any ideas of videos you would particularly like to see in the comments section below. So positive discipline, if you're new to my channel or just don't know about it very much, I have done a couple of other videos which I'll link below, is the idea that you can discipline your child through love without punishment or reward. So it does sound a lot like the Holy Grail. Some of the writing about it seems to almost sound like you're trying to create these really cooperative, naturally wonderful, giving children, and that's not what I'm going into it for. I'm definitely going into it so that I have the techniques up my sleeves in my arsenal to react calmly to the discipline issues and to their spirit. You know, it's about, for me, very much disciplining without pulling away their spirit and their childhood and letting them feel their emotions, but being able to react to them correctly by understanding what's really going on behind the scenes. And I think it really helps to bond, really does. It helps them to say, my mummy always understood me and I was always allowed to feel like that, and to be empathetic to other people and to be kind to each other, which is a really big thing for me. So I would tell you my top 3 positive discipline techniques that help me on a daily basis and literally have transformed our household into such a calm and happy home, and one where the children get on very well and we're bonding so much better because there aren't these huge ups and downs. So the top 3, number 1, you probably heard it before, but it is to treat the cause and not the symptom. So a really easy demonstration of this that happened just now was I was downstairs and my eldest child was slamming doors at my younger one, who then opened the door and threw a load of pens at him, like sharp pencils. They both came running down the stairs, and it's he did this, he did that, he did that. And it's in that situation I'm like really cross that there's been these pencils being thrown at somebody, because I've already told them about that once. Slamming doors, I've already told them about it. It's super dangerous. We've had fingers trapped in doors, and yeah, so I felt quite, you know, they're making these mistakes again. But instead of kind of flying off the handle, I was like, okay, I think that what my elder child was saying is that he just wanted to be alone and wanted some time alone. And he said, yep, I just want to be by myself for a little bit. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the house. And one thing that I really believe in is this time out. Like, we're all having quiet time to ourselves now to do what we want. This is mine. So he wanted to be alone, so then explaining that to my younger child, he just wants to be alone by himself for a little while, which brought tears to the younger one who just wants to be together with him and play. So then I said to my oldest, why don't you put something on TV that Finn wants to watch, find something with him, then you can go off and be by yourself. And I really like doing that, trying to give them the solutions to think, next time I want time to myself, rather than slamming the door, I'm oldest, I would give him something else to do. Like, if they want time away from Evelina, it's give her a toy. If they want time away from Finn, pop something on that he can watch on TV before you just go up to your bedroom. And they did, and it worked really well. It was super sweet. It gave Freddie that feeling of independence and that being the older brother, like, here, I'm going to put this thing on for you, do you want to watch that? Finn felt looked after and cared for by his brother and snuggled down to watch his cartoon, and then Freddie got his alone time and we didn't argue. You know, and I told them we don't throw, but I just did it in a really calm way. So there are really good ways of doing this technique, which is just thinking, what are they really asking for? And then allowing them that independence and giving them the tools to kind of go off and find that solution to themselves. The second one is a really interesting one, and it's about treating everything with empathy and logic. So this, to me, very much comes out of being on their side, even when you're the mum. So in gentle parenting or Montessori method, more talks about you being the leader rather than the disciplinarian or the manager, and it's such a nicer way to think of yourself. It means that you kind of imagine if you were with a bunch of friends and there are some rules set in place, and it's setting loving limits. So if you're out with your friends and you go, right, you know, if one of us really wants to go home and they've had enough, we're all just going to leave together, and then the person gets up, wants to go home, has a freak out, you really enjoying yourself, you don't tell them off or anything, you know, it's just sort of treating with respect your children, essentially, not putting yourself in that higher position. So an example for this was the other day, we're in the paddling pool, I told them not to do this dangerous thing a million times, which was like dunking each other, basically. Dunking the toddler, I mean, who found this hilarious, but obviously it's going to go wrong at some point. So I told him a lot of times, none of this, and I always say, you know, health and safety first. I always tell you not to do things only if it's really dangerous, but it continued. So rather than really raising my voice and shouting, I went, oh, we've done it again. That means we can't play in the paddling pool anymore. Oh, that's such a shame, because it's having such a good time. It's such a nice hot day, but now we have to get out because we didn't listen and we're still doing the dangerous behaviour. So everyone was very disappointed, but then it's really nice because you're sort of putting yourself in this logic, you're giving them the reason why, you've not raised your voice, you've not got angry, the consequence is the same for them. They want to be in the paddling pool, you know, telling them off puts them into that fight or flight mode, and then you become the target of this anger where you really don't need to be. You just need to be kind of on their side, like, oh, sucks guys, oh, that mistake happened again. It's also, you know, mistakes are forgiven, let's get out, go and do something else, because the consequence of not being allowed to do the game is enough in that case for those young children who want to play out in the paddling pool. So always think, do I need to raise my voice, do I need to punish, or can I just be like, that's the end of that game now, we're gonna have to go and do something else, and know that the consequence is enough for the child without having to over egg it. Then if they want to go back in the paddling pool in half an hour, then we can say, you know, of course we can, I would love to do that. Remember, we're not allowed to do that one dangerous thing, that meant we had to get out. And then lo and behold, everyone cooperates because they're not still trying to do it on the sly when you're not looking. And the last one is to demonstrate the limits yourself, and this is something that works so well for me. So I have a thing about we do not play with people if they're being rude to us, and I have a thing about we do not raise our voices and yell at each other, and that goes between the siblings and that goes between me and them. And as much as possible, the best way of getting this ingrained is to demonstrate it yourself, and it really helps me, and it will help you, I reckon, stay calm in those situations. So if we're playing a game and somebody starts, you know, like there's a little bit of back chat, there's a bit of being rude, or you're rubbish at that, or I'm not gonna, you know, like suddenly there's a little bit of like the tension's rising and we're not all being as nice to each other as we maybe could be, then I can say I don't play against people who are rude to me, and I can walk away. And I think it's a really important life lesson. If they're ever having trouble with kids at school, then I hear them can say back, well, I don't play with people who are rude to me, and they walk away, and I'm like, yes, that's what I want you to do. So starting those lessons at home. And similarly, if your child's arguing and yelling at you and you yell right back, but you've set a family code that there's no arguing, or that you don't agree with arguing, it doesn't work. So it's a good technique to also say, if somebody's making me angry or someone is being angry towards me, I walk away, and diffusing it. And then this whole, you know, it's not fair, you said this, it's like, okay, we can't talk right now because you were yelling at me, so I'm just going to go and do my own thing. And it will actually help you to diffuse your own anger at the same time, rather than getting wrapped up, because no solution, no one in the history of the world has ever calms down when they're that angry and had a logical conversation. So it just diffuses it, it walks away, but it's teaching them the life skills to do that between themselves and when they're outside of the home as well. But yeah, just to demonstrate those limits yourself and put them into practice yourself and use them as much as possible, and you'll start seeing your children emulate that, and you'll feel super proud. So let me know what you think of those 3 top positive discipline techniques. I did a whole load more in a previous video, which I'll link below, and also some other gentle parenting bits which are there. I also have my own Amazon storefront, which is all about gentle parenting books that I love and these sort of things, so I will link it there as well if you want to go and read more. But as I said, I think that this summer, because it's something that I'm literally reading up about every single day and putting into practice, I'll do a few more videos around Montessori methods and positive discipline. So I'd love to have you here for that. If that's your kind of thing, do hit subscribe and like. Do share with me in the comment section below videos you would like or issues you're having, and I'll go off and research. I'm by no means an expert, just read a lot about it. And thanks again so much for being here and for watching, and have a brilliant summer holidays. Bye guys.